Hello Technica, this is Caroline Green. Today's video is going to be a really good video for you. So how are Indian PhDs better than any other PhDs from other countries? Yes, you might be wondering, yes, is Indian PhDs good or other PhDs studying abroad is good? So it's not accurate to say that Indian PhDs are very far better than all other countries. It depends very specifically based on the qualification that you're going to do or the skills that you're going to have or the abilities that you're going to have. All these things are going to decide whether the PhD is better. But even though when we compare it with the other countries, there are some strength that Indian PhD holds. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the advantage that Indian PhD has, even though they have certain setbacks also. So let's talk about how an Indian PhD is better in some of the aspects when we compare it with the other PhDs from other countries. Yes. So India has a very strong educational system, all of you know. So here I'm going to talk about there is a long tradition of academic excellence. Yes, you might have seen a lot of people who have contributed to the entire scientific community has come from India. When we talk in case of physics or mathematics or biology, whatever it is, we have strong people who have made a wonderful scientific community and brought certain novelistic invention in the entire world population also. So we do have a strong educational system, so we are improving these days when we compare it with the previous years also. So we started having a very strong educational systems, and we strongly think and we have a very strong emphasis on the education. So we give a lot of importance to education. So when we compare it with most of the countries which are considered very well known or even it's growing also, we little bit stand ahead of other things when we talk in case of the education system. So this is one of the advantage that Indian PhD has, and that's why most of the people nowadays you can find a lot of people entering into PhD programs. Previously when you compare it with the number of students entering into the PhD program were limited, but now the number of students entering for PhD programs are little bit more than the previous cases. And higher level of proficiency in English when you compare it with the previous year, and when we talk in case of this scenario, so there is a high level of proficiency in English because it was previously a British colony, and English is widely spoken nowadays and read, and it's been written also. And we started having a lot of collaboration, Indian PhDs and Indian scientists having a lot of collaborations with international colleagues and international researchers all around the globe. So that makes Indian PhD a bit better than most of the countries when we have to talk in case of. Now when we have to talk about strong emphasis on the research, yes, now even though we have certain problems which are related to fundings or when we talk in case of grants, there are some disadvantages also, but we have always had a strong emphasis on the research thing. So not only in biology, not only in life sciences or genetic engineering or the bioinformatics or whatever it is, we are very well equipped when we talk in case of engineering, when we talk in case of mathematics, when we talk in case of physics. So we are literally giving a lot of emphasis on research, and that's why our Indian Research Institute like ISRO, DRDO and lot of DBT, ICMR, ICAR laboratories are started growing, and they are making a wonderful trade market as well as producing a lot of novelistic invention in the entire world. So we Indians or Indian PhDs always have a thought or given a strong emphasis on research. So Indian University and Research Institute are there, and high level of productivity. This is really important. So even though we have a lot of researchers in our country, we always produces a high level of products, and the outputs among the PhD students and graduates is always considered greater. So this is one of the advantage that Indian PhD has when we compare it with the other countries also. Yes. So the next one is diversified research area. Yes. So when we talk in case of most of the country, I would doesn't want to specifically mention countries. We are just talking scenario or a consolidated of this. So diversified research area, which means we don't specializedly studying in a particular area. Suppose if you're dealing with a complete genetic engineering, we deal with all the things, and research mainly focuses on taking an idea from different perspective and then carrying out the research. So we are always diversified research area things only we are going to carrying it out, and this has been carried out in a lot of universities and research institute also. Example I can give you in a case of life sciences like oncology, stem cell research, infectious biology, omics, gene therapy, and there are many more, not only in life sciences, in engineering, in physics, in mathematics, and there are many things. So strong collaborations, yes, now we had lot of collaborations with the US, with the Europe, with Singapore. We have lot of collaborations with many European countries, Germany, Italy. So we have a very strong collaborations with a lot of countries, and that's why we can see a lot of students having sandwich programs with many of the universities. If Indian students or Indian PhDs are not well equipped or well good enough, there would not be any sandwich programs, or they would not be able to go and present their research papers. So we do have a strong collaborations also. So international collaborations, and we have international networks, and that in turn is providing a lot of access to resources. So now let's talk about the sixth point. Yes, do we have a strong work ethics? Yes. So when we compare it with a lot of other countries, we do have a very strong ethics when it comes to research. So India is having a very strong work ethics, and it is dedicated to the studies, or when it comes to research also. So this is one of the advantages that Indian PhDs are better. And of course, when we have to talk in case of mathematics and analytical skills, of course Indian PhD stands ahead. That's why Indian PhDs have been very much hired when we talk in case of engineering or mathematics, and they are very good enough in analytical skills. So it is an asset in most of the fields. Suppose not only in biology or life sciences or biotechnology, it's in engineering. When we talk in case of computer science, when we talk in case of economics, whatever it is, we do have a strong mathematical analytical skills. Because Indian PhD itself, when you're doing a research, you'll get to know how we approach mathematical things, or we have an interdisciplinary research. That's the main core, that we are well versed in mathematical and analytical skills when it comes to research. Strong interdisciplinary skill, as I already mentioned, yes, we do have an interdisciplinary skills, like we do research on biology, physics, maths, everything consolidately together, and we come up with a novelistic product, or we come up with producing a novelistic drug to the human community. So think across different disciplines. We never restrict ourselves to one of the disciplines, so we do research on different disciplines also, and approaching problems from multiple angles. Yes, that's what we used to get idea from all different sources. When you go for research laboratory itself, you will understand there would be one laboratory which will be dealing with oncology, another laboratory in neurogenerative, another in biophysics, another in engineering. Even DRDO has a lot of life science graduates who are coming in. ISRO has a lot of life science candidates coming in, which means we doesn't rely only on engineering, or we doesn't rely on only on life sciences, we doesn't rely on physics. We tend to accept all the problems from all the disciplines also. So that's one of the things that Indian PhDs are very good enough. And strong problem solving skills, yes, so we think critically to understand the problems. That's why we have a lot of Nobel laureates also coming from India. So strong problem solving ability, you can find it in India. And strong adaptability, yes, you can find a lot of Indian PhD students going abroad and studying their postdoctoral positions, or working over there and coming back to India. So they can tend to adapt to the new environment and new cultures also. That's one of the things that the Indian PhDs are very good enough. So Indian PhDs, when we have to compare it with most of the countries, we cannot accurately say that Indian PhD is the best when we compare it with the other countries, but it do have certain strengths that we have to talk about. Even though there are some setbacks and drawbacks in Indian PhD, of course Indian PhDs are very good enough when we have to talk in case of engineering, computer science, or maths, or physics, or in case of biotechnology. So what do you think about Indian PhDs? Is it good, or is it better, or is it best than the other PhD all over the globe? So put it in the comment section. Let's have a debate about it. Thank you all of you for your time.